Good evening. Today is Sunday, and it's been a couple of months I haven't made any of the opinionated, opinionated or creative thinking to solve the world problem, and some advice and um, some probably suggestion because we human we are so creative. And here we have some Arabic singer and some Jewish singer. They're a pop singer in Israeli right now. So it was said that we have a fight between them, and it's not reflected in this. So it was started by a shocking media shows of the evil act of Hamas terrorizing music concert goers with surrounding civilian non-military population from children to senior citizens indiscriminately were killed just to fulfill their oath, which is to kill every Israelis in their local enclave territorial constitution. It's all reflecting the serious failure in Mossad or IDF above the general failure of ability to eliminate terrorists or Hamas as labeled as such. The IDF or the Mossad both are the intelligence operation Israelis. Um, they even refuse to identify the threat by name, cell phone number, IP address, tower ping, phone listening, and a complete set of tunnel networks. These are basic of detailed Hamas organizational structure configuration, financing, special forces, training, influential figure, vulnerability, leadership competition, its leader characters configuration, social media, and communication media, and also the level of militancy of each structure organization in the Hamas. So this IDF and Mossad has a big failure in keep tapping on all this. The Mossad and IDF refer as one of the best intelligence in the world. Today, the best, and it's not reflected by whatever the failure every time. So every expert thought was just a marketing gimmick from the start. Ever since they keep on getting attacked every time as frequently fails organization particularly. No one denied this. No one denied this failure, but somehow due to the masterpiece of the marketing gimmick that most experts were awed by the bubbles of success. Just like all the court indictment and witness of Trump's history of unlawful life, almost 50% of Americans still vote for him, hoping to get a fair, clean government. That includes mostly subjective experts and scientists. Just like the minute they heard Hamas attack, they will refer to Mossad and IDF ability to deal with the threat appropriately. Just frankly a big failure though. No one ever does research or investigates the system failure every time, or investigate journalists are strictly banned to perform on the worst intelligence agent in the world, such as Mossad or IDF. From just a glimpse or quick observation, it seems Mossad or IDF needed Hamas to coexist. Otherwise, the liberal Israelis will not need Mossad or right-wing or radical Jewish government. But it's part of its necessary in radical government that want to cling to the power forever or to suppress any moderation and modernization of Israel's political arena that full of humanism that had enough or forever that has fed up or enough of this forever war. And worst of all, the whole world will not be happy to see Israel can be better than Singapore in liberalism and full-fledged of democratization. Besides, military weapon development and industry will disappear completely as the defense budget shrink as consequence of democratization or long-last peaceful life in Israelis or in between Jewish and Palestinian. Like this guy here, the singers, these three singers, these are all different races. I think couple Jewish, one Palestinian, and they just get along, they can sing together, they can collaborate. So the American, all the Arabic nation, and European loves and enjoys so much this forever episode and serial of a cyclical war. Moreover, they also participate actively as it were a very good materials for the campaign back home. So other international observers, they love to bring this chaos back home and show some support or show some against. Even always amplified with the substantial aid and donation as an affirmation on their political stand that eventually will fire up their base to win the presidency in every voting or campaign in the US, in France, in London, or in Arabic country. In so many cycles, those episodes were repeated. Although so many peace effort, agreement, and accord were made and keep on progressing in the remake or in the making. Even good things like the Nobel Peace Prize are also carved in this cycle, just like sides in coin. There's like two sides in a coin. They carry excess and ugly consequences with real unrelated victims of these Tom and Jerry cycles. The excess is somewhere on the other side of the world, like the children, like a child in Illinois who was stabbed as an excess of hate crime because of spilling of this war to the United States. And all other Western representation building being a target of vandalism in the Muslim countries, amplified by emotional marginalized citizens that start swearing to avenge the media show of a children and women killing. They start making so many terrorist organization or resurrect heal terrorists in the act to be active again as avenging to the media show of injustice. The other side of the coin, Jewish freedom fighters in the world started the new Zionism by flying back to Israel and were recruited and armed by the Israel radical government to avenge their fellow Jewish victim. The very emotional Zionist call of duties to revenge is almost similar unimaginable patterns, or almost just like Hamas in a more sophisticated communication branding, or to have a right to kill Hamas in any way and every way they can, quote unquote, or as if legitimately as a self-defense. It's a new branding, it's a self-defense. This branded communication becomes so scary and terrifying the whole world because they can kill single Hamas target or assume there's gonna be a single Hamas fighter target in high-rise building or hospital with full of children, and they never have the obligation to explain how many children killed with or without a single Hamas body present or counted. So used to be like 500 children died or 300 women died in very dense populated high-rise building. Or in Jenin, in the refugee camp in Jenin, that everybody were just children and women look for refuge because it's just women. Otherwise, if men, they go to war. So it seems the same scenario is that Mossad and IDF is the worst intelligence in the world. Whatever they do is just another additional to the big failure as a basic useless intelligent body. So don't expect any explanation to come up with such a single Hamas present in the hospital full of children that was annihilated. Even history books will tell us how many casualties in the First World War, and in this modern days of war, we could just keep guessing. There was a Hamas person in this particularly yes, or on this specific building or hospital. Although we all aware the modern day war rules of engagement should not involve civilian bystander, and hard to believe children can be mentioned in any military engagement, although their communication has been always the Hamas slaughter our children, or I saw the media showing how the children was killed in horrific details from maybe CCTV, like a video, or even doctor's video, not AI based video, could be, or a real one. So I'm not on a presumption. Does that give them the right to be just another Hamas? Does that give them the right that the IDF and Mossad was acting just like copying Hamas? Can Mossad and IDF become another Hamas, another terrorist? So let's draw a straight line and not to confuse the warning of children with we have warned the building occupiers, including children, that Mossad and IDF assume own a cell phone number that we can they can be warned so they can get out of the building. So we expect children own a cell phone, each children. and then they have the time cap to flee, just 3 minutes. If they couldn't run in 3 minutes, in case they're disabled, that's it. We are not easily duped by this warning statement that legitimized them to just bomb a building full of children. We know the demography of the Gaza is 70% children and women, or half of it, or 35 children approximately. So who stays at home and hides and does not go to war? Women and children. Again, the question is back to can Israeli forces become another low-life terrorists like Hamas? So Hamas, who murdered Jewish children and women for their movement as agreed or supported by Iran, so Iran, Hezbollah, or other radical Arabic government or even Russian, agreed and supported Hamas with funding and with weapon. How could that be? It's a disaster for humanity. How about Israeli forces, who up to now are still bombing every building, even right now at this moment? They keep on bombing every building in Gaza, hoping there is a Hamas person. If not, the children are the just casualties. How actually this very deadly and destructive Tom and Jerry relationship between Hamas and Israelis, with the film Mossad or IDF, and mainly very ultra radical prime ministers that love to keep it going on as a mutual desired by Hamas to keep their power and might relevance. It's so complicated and purely not patriotism for the common good for their majority people, but only good for both who wants to cling to very selfish power and money only. It's so corrupt thinking. Do they actually realize it? Do they actually have voted for both radical power, for Hamas and for Benjamin Netanyahu, and keep on rising unchecked? Their power, the Hamas and Bibi Netanyahu power, keep rising and it's unchecked. Hamas won the vote, and so Benjamin Netanyahu by a legitimate vote. So can they blame their mandate to be so sadistic and keep winning the next vote for our mandate? To be even more barbaric, let's ask both sides, citizen or legitimate voters or supporters. Does it really sound so complicated not to vote for them? Not to vote for radical powers that might, at the end of the day, kill them or backfire on them? Don't they realize any of this? So we need to be careful when we vote. We should not vote for radical people because that creates death and destruction. We can keep going on or going off with the root cause of both sadistic pattern, but that is their domestic political reality on the ground that is probably hard to swallow, hard to comprehend. Do we have to keep on educating them or bring them to the table in vain every time because they always have inflicted wound all the time? They keep on attacking over nothing all the time. Every little thing or every time they want to attack, it's like the hands itchy on the trigger. The sensible solution and advice with 1,000 options, they always end the war option. They always end the war right away, and that start the war again? Could we just let them figure out how every citizen will need to choose on their own how to survive as bystander, or consciously vote for the same wolves while they still living among the wolves? Does it sound really funny every time they get mad at each other and kill each other? We have to rush in to keep on rescuing them all the time, or thinking and doing intervention all the time, for pushing both sides to be really mature neighbors. Uh, so we need to push both sides to be really mature neighbors. They need to act like a mature neighbors. So can we keep on sending donation for every cycle of their desires to go to war? Or we could just divert to donate and to rescue other more serious conflict with some promising peaceful result, not to reoccur again, or grateful grown-up parties that after we bring them to the peaceful table and agreement, they should be grateful and maintain the peaceful life forever, not fighting again, and we have to keep on come and rush them and rescue them. Isn't it so annoying? It might sound so unethical even to explore or to ask this question. So never-ending US aid, American aid to Israel, finally has a very, very weird answer. What if we stop sending aids? Or think of helping our next door family, or firemen and arsonists. So in case next door we have, in our own house, we have firemen and we have arsonist neighbors. They're living in the same house, they're like families. So they will start light up the house on fires, and then the firemen will put out the fire. So we keep on helping them with gas, supply of gas, supply of water. So what if we stop sending aids? Or think of helping our next door family of firemen and arsonists with no more supply of fire guns and water. The question is if stopping them means limiting the number of dead children and women, or stopping the activity of murdering each other, and to stop acting them and to stop aiding them means forcing them to be more mature and wise on how to come to an agreement to live side by side peacefully and happily ever after. As a byproduct, we certainly impose a civility that will stop the Zionism and barbarian war act for good, or they will not be using women and children as a war shield, or we could ask them to live and vote in a normal country somewhere else instead of emigrating to unlivable or full of repeating cycle of sadistic killing region, or ask them to vote for moderate power, a moderate power that want to come in the middle and talk to each other and have a treaty. So that was just a concern that we all need to tell them. black and white as it is. We cannot witness this barbaric war all the time. Enough is enough. All right, catch you later.